Once upon a time there was a lovely princess, but she had an enchantment upon her of a fearful sort which could only be broken by love's first kiss. Many brave knights had attempted to free her from this dreadful prison but none prevailed. And here we have Shrek, who is an ugly giant who lives by himself in a swamp and is having fun and enjoying himself. Finally, he paints a beware ogre sign and posts it. Men burst out of a tavern in the town and plan to capture the ogre for a reward. The men finally arrive at the ogre's house at night. The ogre hears them, and sneaks up behind them. He frightens them by telling them what he could do to them, then he roars and they all flee in fear. The ogre sees a poster on the ground and picks it up, wanted. He tosses it back on the ground and walks away. In the forest, various fairy tale creatures are being loaded into wagons for the rewards. A talking donkey is next in line after Pinocchio. The donkey's owner can't get him to talk when asked by the knights, so they drag her away. The knights try to seize him, but he runs into the forest. The donkey bumps into the back of the ogre. When the knights approach, the donkey hides behind the ogre. The captain of the guards announces that Lord Farquaad authorized him to arrest them and transport them to a designated resettlement facility. As the ogre walks away, the donkey follows him and compliments him on how great he was with the guards. The donkey asks for the ogre's name, and he replies, Shrek. Shrek lets the donkey stay at his house for one night. Outside, as Shrek eats his dinner, he hears a noise and shouts at the donkey to stay outside, but sees hundreds of fairy tale creatures camped outside his house. Pinocchio and one of the pigs tell Shrek that Lord Farquaad evicted them and put them there. The donkey tells Shrek that he knows where Lord Farquaad is, so Shrek announces that their welcome is worn out, that he will see Farquaad right now so that he can get them all off his swamp and back where they all came from. In a castle, the town's lord walks down a hallway. He enters the torture chamber where the executioner, Thelonious, is drowning the gingerbread man in a glass of milk. He demands that the gingerbread man tell him where the others are and starts to tear off one of his gumdrop buttons. The lord knocks the gingerbread man into a trash can, then asks, Mirror, mirror on the wall, is this not the most perfect kingdom of them all? The magic mirror replies that he is not technically a king yet, but can become one by marrying a princess. The magic mirror then presents the eligible bachelorettes, dating game style, Cinderella, Snow White, and Princess Fiona, in the castle guarded by a dragon. Lord Farquaad then announces that they are going to have a tournament. Shrek and Donkey reach the castle at Duloc. Shrek and Donkey march past the contestants, knights, then Farquaad instead tells the knights that the one who kills the ogre will be named champion. Shrek bursts open a wine barrel to slip up some knights. When more knights arrive, Shrek jumps into a corral and fights them like a professional wrestler. Lord Farquaad signals to the knights with crossbows, but instead of giving the order to kill Shrek, he proclaims that Shrek is the champion. Shrek and Donkey pass a rundown windmill. After 2 days, they finally reach the castle where Princess Fiona is held, up on a mountain. Dried lava and brimstone are everywhere. Donkey is afraid to cross, but Shrek backs him up, tricking him to cross. Inside the castle, Shrek tells Donkey to look for stairs so they can reach Princess Fiona. Suddenly, the dragon breathes fire and chases after Donkey. Shrek grabs the dragon's tail, but it shakes him off, sending him flying into Princess Fiona's room and waking her up. Down below, the dragon is cuddling and romancing Donkey. Shrek and Donkey run away, then Shrek grabs Donkey and Fiona as the dragon chases them, repeatedly breathing fire. But they make it safely across. Shrek tells her that Lord Farquaad sent him, that he's the one who wants to marry her. Shrek picks her up, then they head back to Duloc. When Shrek finally sets Fiona down, she asks Shrek and Donkey what Duloc and Lord Farquaad are like. Shrek and Donkey start making short jokes about him. They find a rock cliff, and Princess Fiona sleeps alone in a small enclosure on it. Fiona wakes up and slides the door open, then overhears Shrek telling Donkey how people judge him before they even know him, and that's why he's better off alone. The next morning, Princess Fiona sings with a bird, but it explodes when she hits a high note. She cooks the bird's eggs for breakfast. Fiona tells Shrek and Donkey that she is making it up to them because they got off to a bad start yesterday. After all, they rescued her. Shrek catches a frog and inflates it like a balloon, handing it to Fiona. Fiona grabs a snake off a tree branch and inflates it like a balloon, and gives it to Shrek. Shrek and Fiona go to find dinner and firewood. Fiona likes the food Shrek cooked. weed rat, saying that it's delicious. Fiona goes into the windmill to sleep by herself. Shrek tries to deny that he likes her, and then dejectedly says that Fiona is a princess and he is an ogre. He walks off and tells Donkey that he's getting more firewood, but Donkey sees that there's still a large pile of firewood there. Shrek sits alone by a field of sunflowers, staring at Duloc until night. Donkey goes inside the windmill looking for Princess Fiona. The ogre falls through the wood and screams as she lands on the floor, frightening Donkey even more. She tries to calm and quiet him down, saying that it's her, in this body. She says that it only happens when the sun goes down. She looks at her reflection in a barrel of water and recites a spell, by night one way, by day another. Shrek walks back to the windmill, holding a sunflower. He overhears Fiona telling Donkey, who could ever love a beast so hideous and ugly? Fiona opens the door and looks around, but only sees the sunflower and takes it inside. The sun rises and she transforms back to human form. Shrek walks up and she rushes to greet him, but he angrily walks past her and sits on the steps. Fanfare announces Lord Farquaad's arrival as he rides towards them. Farquaad give him the deed to his swamp, as promised. Farquaad grabs her hand and proposes to her. She looks at Shrek, who is staring at his deed, then accepts. Donkey tries to stop Shrek and says that there's something he doesn't know about Fiona. Shrek shouts at Donkey that he heard what they said last. He sighs heavily and walks back to his house. Donkey walks through the forest, sadly glancing back. Princess Fiona, in her wedding gown, looks sadly out the window. Shrek hears a thumping sound outside and opens the door to see Donkey putting branches on the ground. Shrek gives up and walks away, saying that he's done with Donkey, then Donkey chases after him. Shrek replies that he heard their conversation, that she called him ugly, a hideous creature. Shrek wonders what Fiona said about him, but Donkey tells him to ask her. Donkey whistles and the dragon flies down. Shrek climbs the chain up. At the castle, the bishop is marrying Princess Fiona and Lord Farquaad. The dragon lands outside, and then the knights run away fearfully. Shrek bursts into the church just before Farquaad and Fiona kiss. Shrek grabs her hand and tells her that Farquaad only wants to marry her so that he can be king, then tells her that Farquaad is not her true love. She walks to the window and tells Shrek that she wanted to show this to him before. She transforms into an ogre. The dragon bursts through the large stained glass window with Donkey on top and swallows Farquaad, killing him. Shrek tells Fiona that he loves her, and she tells him that he loves him too. They kiss, and then Fiona begins her transformation as her voiceover recounts the rest of the spell. Shrek tells her that she is beautiful, and they kiss again. At the swamp, Shrek and Fiona get married, with Donkey and all the fairy tale creatures as guests. The book closes, revealing the fairy tale to be Shrek, and the song ends. And that was the best ending of Shrek. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.